Hey everyone, and welcome to the Defining Your Life podcast, where we focus on living in our purpose, practicing presence, and activating our power in each moment. I'm Marsharelle, your resident pep talk provider, and I invite you to join me as we continue to learn, lift each other up, and strive to level up together. Because we are never finished defining our lives, and it takes a village, so let's build one. Stay tuned for the episode. Hey everyone! Before I get started, I just want to thank all of you who have started following the podcast, left reviews, shared on social media or with a friend, and shared your thoughts with me. Thank you so much. It means the world to me, and I hope that I am able to, continue providing content that resonates with you. And if you haven't left a review yet, please do. It's really helpful as we continue to get up and running over here, but thank you again for such a warm reception in this space, and I can't wait to keep going. Now, to the subject at hand, which is the power of activating. We're picking up where we left off last week, and I hope that your week is going well, that whatever you chose to activate, you have been following through with and are feeling a sense of accomplishment from it. If this is not the case, thank God we have the opportunity to give it another go today. I actually did well with my chosen activation this week, which was to be consistent with journaling. Back in my teen years, I was an avid writer. Journaling, poetry, and nonfiction writing were some of my faves. I went to a creative and performing arts high school with a major in creative writing. But over time, I got away from the practice of journaling, even though I was well aware of the benefits. It didn't matter how beautiful or expensive a journal I picked up. I just couldn't seem to fill it. And even my daughter has called me out on it, asking why I'm purchasing yet another notebook when I have so many empty ones already sitting on a shelf. It was like, oh, this one is pretty. I'll definitely use it. But of course, that wasn't the case. My challenge has always been consistency, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. I fill in a couple pages, put the book down, and then 2 years later, I pick it up like, oh, I did start writing in this book. And then I'm annoyed that I wasted 2 or 3 pages and just want to start fresh when I should have just kept going. So to journal every day for an entire week was quite the feat for me. But I did it, and it was definitely impactful in my attitude and outlook. Having to follow up with all of you also helped to hold me accountable, so I am very grateful for that as well. Now, this particular journal that I've committed to, while it isn't technically a 5-minute journal, it only takes me about 5 minutes, which is great because I can't say that I don't have time to do it. It leaves a few key spaces to record how I took care of myself that day, something I'm grateful for, a good thing that happened, an intention for the following day, and why that intention is important to me. And it's been nice to see how the intention setting affects me the next day. And it's also cool to look back and see what I've been taking note of in the gratitude department. Yes, it's only been a short time since I've been consistent with journaling, but you don't always have to wait months or years to go back and see what you were thinking or how you were feeling. Thoughts are fleeting. What I was thinking and feeling on Monday might be a distant memory by the time Thursday gets here. So reflect as often as necessary to stay in tune with the ebbs and flows of your thoughts. I'll leave the link in the show notes for the journal I'm referring to, but you don't need the official journal for the format. If you have 100 notebooks or journals lying around like I do, just use what you have and replicate the format that I mentioned. Anywho, I'd love to hear the ways in which you all activated this week. Are you going to continue with the one thing you originally selected, or are you going to look at your list feeling like you can take on something else? Feel free to leave a comment or send me a DM on IG if you wish to share and get some encouragement. Now, to carry the topic of activation a bit further, I would like to talk about the positive long-term effects of activating on a daily basis. You might be saying, Marsharelle, activating something on a daily basis is just a habit. Yes, it is a habit. But 2 things. It's not just a habit, because all habits lead to big impact, and that's whether you picked a positive or negative habit to activate. But two, sometimes we need to rephrase the language so that it resonates with us more and drives us to action. For me, the word activating, that screams action, right? Habit is like, yeah, I know. We all need to build strong habits, whatever, heard it a million times. But activating, to me, that sounds like something to get a bit more excited about. Like I'm activating the power of journaling in my life. I'm charging up to see where it will take me. That sounds a lot more interesting to me than building the habit of journaling. So here are a few long-term benefits that result from activating on a daily basis. It proves you have the power to change or impact your own life. You, yes, you can change your life, in case you forgot. It provides a sense of achievement. Performing a task repeatedly is like a silent reminder that you can get things done. And the gratification you gain from completing something that may not seem like a big deal serves as positive reinforcement. It reduces stress and anxiety because it offers predictability, which is easier on the body. I used to think of predictability as blah, but as I've gotten older, I have grown to appreciate those predictable actions that I know will bring me peace, calm, or joy. Like sitting with my cup of tea at the end of the night. I look forward to it. I know that at a specific time, I will be winding down, and I look forward to the joy and calm it brings me. It may seem silly to simply change the wording of something, but I suggest you give it a try. I'm choosing the word activating. You might choose something else. Do whatever it takes to get you where you're trying to go, whatever it takes to build. The goal is to get you moving and closer to the finish line, so why should it matter how it's framed? I believe wholeheartedly in the power of words. Like I said, I'm rooted in writing. And to refer back to our chat from last episode, what are you feeding yourself? Have you really given your words thought in regard to how you feed yourself? The saying, think before you speak, shouldn't just apply to how you speak to others, but to yourself as well. You spend the most time with you, so the narrative that you provide yourself will define the you that shows up each day in the world. We are talking about something small here that has a big impact. Words and how you frame them can get you going, but those same words positioned another way can tear you down. I want to encourage you this week to mind how you communicate with yourself. How are you speaking to yourself? Do you encourage yourself? Do you tear yourself down? Do you place the responsibility of handling words with care solely on others? It is unfair for us to place the burden on others to keep us propped up, cheered up, and motivated when we aren't doing a great job at it for ourselves. It's great to have a supportive circle that can pick up the slack when we need help or are facing a challenging time, but we should be in the practice of doing what we can for ourselves. We should be looking inward instead of outward for validation and reassurance in the different areas of our lives. I have most certainly been guilty of looking for outward reassurance and approval, and have found that the more you lean into it, the more you find yourself needing it before you can move forward. And eventually, you don't trust yourself at all. It's harder to make decisions on your own. You don't believe anything that you tell yourself about yourself. You aren't living your own life. Isn't it a terrible feeling to live with or constantly be around someone that you don't trust? Like, what if that person is actually you? We need to be our own ally. And if we aren't our number one champion, then we need to reevaluate some things. I'd like to leave you with a few words from a song that I turn to be lifted up when I need that extra boost of encouragement. It's by Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. And no, I'm not going to sing it because I realize that singing is not one of my gifts. But the words go like this. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to speak victory during the test. And no matter how you feel, speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. So, set the example for yourself. Lean into the power of God in your life and activate the power of positive words to help you when you aren't quite feeling like you got it. You speak them enough and you will feel a shift. And that will lead to a snowball effect in other areas of your life. Like, I can demand that you treat me kindly because I am kind to myself. I expect to be respected because I respect myself. And this standard that I uphold internally becomes easier to uphold externally, and others will have no choice but to follow suit. Keep activating, keep encouraging yourself, and let me know how it's going. I can't wait to chat with you next week. Take care until then.